Philippines appeals to the new People's Army to cooperate with the government, coinciding with the 48th founding anniversary. Leslie Longbowen will tell us why.
Ibaba nila ang kanilang armas at makilahok sa ating pamahalaan at saka sa ating buong bayan upang isulong natin ang pag-unlad ng ating bansa.
The Armed Forces of the Philippines says the new People's Army can use this opportunity to show its sincerity to cooperate with the government. Communist Party of the Philippines founder Jose Maria Sison says it is ready to negotiate with the government. However, they would not hesitate to fight if they will be failed by the opportunists.
Handa tayong makipagkasundo sa kabilang panig tungkol sa mga batayang reforma sa lipunan, ekonomiya at politika para magkaroon ng batayan ang makatarungan at matibay na kapayapaan. Handa rin natin ipagpatuloy ang digmang bayan kung bibiguin tayo ng mga ape at mapagsamantala.
AFP spokesperson Padilla says it is important that the rebels prove that their aim is for the good of the Filipinos.
Kung tunay nga silang nagmamahal sa bayan at tunay na nagmamalasakit para sa ating mga kababayan, importante na maliwanag na ang kanilang adhikain ay ang kapakanan ng bawat mamamayan. Subalit, hindi naman po yan na nakikita natin.
AFP also assures that they remain on alert for possible attacks of the group. The peace talks between the government and the rebel groups are set to resume in April. But prior to this, the Cpp-Npa NDFP has said it will declare ceasefire before March ends. The peace talks have been suspended last February after members of NPA allegedly attacked and killed some soldiers. Leslie Longbowen, UNTV News and Rescue, Camp Aguinaldo. The newly commissioned 21-member Bansang Moro Transition Commission is confident that they will be able to finish a new proposed Bansang Moro Basic Law by May. Victor Cosare will tell us why.
Ghazali Jafar, who is the chairman of the Bansang Moro Transition Commission and is also the vice chairman for political affairs of the Moro Islamic Liberation Front, insists that peace in Mindanao could not be attained if a Bansang Moro government is not given to the Moro people.
Huwag po nilang pagkaisipin na kasi nabigyan sila ng mga seedlings, mga tractor, happy na sila. Magiging happy lang yan kapag nandyan na yung government, Bansang Moro government.
We will continue to assert our rights. Continuous assertion. Continuous assertion. We never spoke about going to war.
But the former chair of the BTC says some members of the MILF are already impatient because the creation of a Bansang Moro government is taking too long. The MILF is confident that the Bansang Moro Basic Law will be passed into law under the administration of President Rodrigo Duterte, who is a Mindanaoan and knows well the root of the problem in the region.
We have our staffing, we have a lawyer, a legal assistant, a peace officer. So we have the armas in terms of providing us the necessary tools, the research and resources.
By June, that should be in Congress, should be filed in Congress so that the President can certify that as urgent by July when he makes his State of the Nation address.
Meanwhile, Jafar stresses that the Maute and 5 or 6 other radical groups in Mindanao are not ICs, but instead they are those who have already gone tired of waiting.
I guarantee you, hindi ang mga ISIS ito. But, papasok yan dito kapag yan natigil. Sapagkat yung mga ito, naghanap sila ng finance. Yung Maute naghanap ng pera para makabili ng maraming armas.
But Jafar stresses that the MILF does not conform with the ways of the Maute group. Victor Cosare, UNTV News and Rescue, Davao City.
Vice President Leni Robredo accepts the dinner invitation of President Rodrigo Duterte. Although they have a lot of differences in various issues, Vice President Robredo said she's willing to talk with the President for the welfare of the country. Meanwhile, Liberal Party President and Senator Kiko Pangilinan said Vice President Robredo will share with the party whatever they will discuss in the meeting.
Of course, I don't know ano yung pag-uusapan nila, but si Vice President Leni naman has always been a participative in her leadership style. So, whatever, kung ano man ang pag-uusapan nila doon, hindi naman niya i-commit basta-basta. She will also
consult with you,
discuss
with the party.
With the party.
The Commission on Elections says it is still waiting for the government's directive regarding the barangay and sangguniang kabataan elections before purchasing poll paraphernalia. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, is now focusing on the voters' registration. The poll body hopes the government can release its decision regarding the postponement of the barangay and sangguniang kabataan elections, preferably in June, before the purchasing of election paraphernalias.
Wala pa tayong major expenditures. Papasok yan mga July onwards kasi dyan ay magsa-start yung mga contracting natin. Contracting ng additional services, contracting ng paper, pagre-refurbish ng mga ballot box na gagamitin and so on.
But the COMELEC worries it may not finish the poll preparations if the government release a decision near the date of the elections.
Ang problema sa postponement ulit ng barangay, is that hindi mo siya pwedeng idikit sa nakaschedule na national and local.
Election,
Dahil yung national and local will be automated and medyo mahaba po talaga yung preparasyon para dyan, particular doon sa automation.
As always, the poll body reminds the public to vote wisely. COMELEC says the voters should choose a leader with clean track record and has never been involved in any anomaly. Meanwhile, Liberal Party President Senator Kiko Pangilinan insists his opposition on the postponement of the barangay polls in October 23, 2017. Pangilinan says President Rodrigo Duterte's appointments of barangay officials will not resolve the country's problem with illegal drugs. The senator notes barangay officials should be elected since it is part of the rights of the public as stated in the Constitution.
Mahalaga ito sa demokrasya at pag pinuspong natin muli, naniniwala tayo na hindi ito nagpapalakas sa ating demokrasya, bagkus ito'y nagpapahina.
Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Militant group Kadamay insists to have housing units in Pandi, Bulacan free of any payment. Leslie Lumbuan will tell us why.
Ng ibabay. Kaya po ang laban
Kadamay Bulacan Chapter President Beth Guerrero says many of their members have no capacity to pay for the houses. Anak Pawi's Representative Ariel Casilao also clarifies payment for the public housing units had not been discussed during the meeting of NHA and Kadamay.
Hindi pa naman po yan napag-uusapan doon sa dialogue dahil hindi pa umaabot sa punto ng recognition dahil nasa profiling and validation pa nga. Pero sinasabi ng Kadamay, i-BGF nila ang libre at pangmasa.
If it comes to the point that the members will have to pay for the houses, the group has set condition for it.
Mataas po ang 200 pesos a month na bayad sa bahay.
Kaya
hindi kakayanin ng mga maralita kagaya namin.
Kung 100?
Siguro kung 100, talagang mapagtabi-tabihan yan. Kaya depende nga yan sa usap. Kung anong mapagkasunduan, ayun ang masusunod.
The verification process for the Kadamay members occupying the NHA housing units in Pandi, Bulacan began yesterday. From this, the NHA will conduct a profiling and validation. This helps NHA determine the families qualified to receive free housing. Representative Casilao says many of the Kadamay members have no valid IDs, but it has been discussed and resolved during their dialogue.
Sinabi ng Kadamay, mayroon po kaming Kadamay ID na registered. Pwede na po ba ito? Ang banggit ng NHA, so pwede yan, pero ng certification either ng PSWD.
Leslie Lumbowen, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
A private company targets to distribute more than 1,000 solar-powered jeepneys this year. Joanne Nano will tell us why.
An Australian company is offering an alternative and modern mode of transportation. The offer is in line with the government's plan to implement a program aiming to modernize jeepneys. These solar-powered jeep and e-tricycles work through the energy coming from solar panel. These vehicles also have batteries that can be charged through electricity. With fully charged batteries, these vehicles can run for up to 120 kilometers.
Lalo na in daytime, pag nakastuck ka ng traffic, hindi ka kumukonsumo, Bagkos nagcha-charge pa. Nagcha-charge ng tama. Nagcha-charge pa yung battery mo.
A solar-powered jeep can accommodate 20 to 25 passengers, while an e-tricycle has a passenger capacity of 6.
Looking on all the jeepney, it's beautiful tradition, but lots of pollution. As you know, in China, 2 million people every year dying only from pollution, and we don't want that to happen over here.
Each solar-powered jeep is worth 1.3 to 1.6 million pesos, while an e-tricycle is 420,000 pesos. Its creator, Star 8 Green Technology Corporation, says they can provide vehicles for free to jeepney and tricycle operators with legitimate franchises.
As long as they form themselves into a cooperative, and then they have to manage the business and make it run 365 days a year.
The company also targets to distribute 1,300 units of solar jeepneys and 5,000 units of e-tricycles this year. John Nano, UNTV News and Rescue, Las Piñas City.
The Land Transportation and Franchising Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, has begun issuing special permits to more than 1,600 units of public utility vehicles in the past 3 weeks. Nel Maribuhok will tell us why.
In preparation for the long holiday in April, the Land Transportation and Franchising Regulatory Board begins processing special permits for additional buses.
For the local or intra-regional routes, the regional offices would process the special permits.
The Maritime Industry Authority also eases the process of issuing special permits to vessels that would operate in provinces. Meanwhile, House Committee on Transportation finished its 11-day exploration on March 27. In this, the House body discovers a huge transportation gap in provinces. It also discovers the dismal condition of restrooms in several bus terminals.
In order to entice local and foreign tourists to go around the Philippines, ang unang tatanungin nila may mga connection ba? Pagdating namin sa airport, pagdating namin sa seaport, may nakaabang ba doon, papunta doon sa destination namin?
The LTFRB vows to continue reminding bus companies and operators about their obligations.
Or sufficient shares for their passengers, we will have to take them into account or call their attention.
Negros Oriental Representative Arnulfo Teves Jr. meanwhile criticizes the way airport and terminal employees treat passengers.
If you are aware, ang daming masusungit na tao sa airport.
The transport agency assures lawmakers that they will continue implementing reforms to ensure that passengers will have a convenient trip to their provinces. Nel Maribuhok, UNTV News and Rescue, House of Representatives.
Next on Y News. The National Bureau of Investigation files syndicated estafa and carnapping charges against rent-tangay suspects.
And the International Rice Research Institute launches prison project beneficial to local farmers.
Y News will be right back. The Baybay Regional Trial Court Branch 14 postpones the announcement of verdict to former CIDG Region 8 Director Superintendent Marvin Marcos and 18 other accused in the killing of Albuera Mayor Rolando Espinosa Sr. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The camp of Police Superintendent Marvin Marcos files an urgent motion to defer or suspend his arraignment before the Baybay Regional Trial Court Branch 14 today. His camp asked the court to allow them undergo preliminary investigation as they were not able to prepare after the issuance of warrant of arrest against them. Judge Carlos Arguelles granted their requests. They were also given the opportunity to avail the correct remedies to prove their innocence.
They manifested before the court that they want to amplify their motion. To want to amplify, meaning they want to supplement or to modify their motion to avail the correct remedies. So I give them 10 days to file that, and giving also the prosecution 10 days to file their comment or opposition thereto. And their arraignment is set on April 26.
Judge Arguelles notes the court is examining the Baybay City Jail for the possibility of the accused transfer in the facility. The suspects are currently detained at the detention cell of the CIDG in Tacloban City.
I'm also assessing now the condition of the city jail of Baybay City. Why? Because if the city jail of Baybay City is the condition will become feasible for their detention, I will transfer them. The court will issue a commitment order for the transfer to Baybay City.
The next arraignment of the accused has been set on April 26. Rosa Licoz, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
The Philippine National Police vows to monitor a possible increase in cases of human rights violations committed by policemen. Joanna will tell us why.
The Philippine National Police Human Rights Affairs Office or PNP-HRAO reports a drop in cases of human rights violations committed by cops. PNP-HRAO Director Police Chief Superintendent Dennis Shervo says 174 cases were recorded in 2014, 131 in 2015, and 105 in 2016.
There is a downward trend on personnel involved in human rights violations. Despite yung half of the previous year, there was a change of administration.
Police Chief Superintendent Dennis Shervo notes of the need to intensify their monitoring of human rights violations among their ranks, especially since, he says, 56 human rights violation cases have been recorded in the first 2 months of this year. Many of the violations include homicide, illegal and arbitrary detention, unlawful arrest, and rape. This prompted the PNP-HRAO to visit police offices in regions with the highest number of violations. These are the regions 1, 7, and the National Capital Region.
Nire-review namin yung mga operational procedures. Kasi ganito yun eh. When you speak of human rights-based na policing, it is professionalism, competency, and strict observance of the police operational procedures. Nire-remind namin sila. Minsan nakakalimot.
Highest police ranks identified to have committed human rights violation are Police Superintendent in the rank of Police Commissioned Officer and Senior Police Office or SPO4 in the rank of Police Non-Commissioned Officers. With this, PNP-HRAO says it will continue to distribute among cops pamphlets containing the Miranda rights as a constant reminder. Joanna, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The National Bureau of Investigation, or NBI, has filed syndicated estafa and kidnapping complaints against alleged rentangay mastermind Rafaela Anunciacion and 5 others. The complaints are based on the 250 vehicles which were either surrendered to or recovered by NBI Cavite District Office. They are a part from the estafa complaints filed by PNP Highway Patrol Group, Calabarzon.
Dito ang ginawa natin, binuo natin yung picture ng buong kaso, yung scheme nila. Pinag-match natin yung complaint ng car owners, laban doon sa complaint ng investors.
Solicitor General Jose Calida sees nothing wrong with his office going after the ill-gotten wealth of the Marcoses, despite his being a staunch supporter of the family. Roderick Mendoza will tell us why.
A proposed law has been filed in Congress that seeks to allow the office of the Solicitor General to pursue the ill-gotten wealth of the Marcoses. This mandate currently belongs to the Presidential Commission on Good Government, or PCGG. But the OSG still represents the government in the cases. House Speaker Pantaleon Alvarez himself is now pushing for the abolition of PCGG and the transfer of its function to the OSG. Solicitor General Jose Calida says the Congress has the power to do this.
That is the prerogative of Congress. They enact the laws. Kami naman, we will implement the law if it is passed.
Calida sees nothing wrong with the proposal, even though he was a supporter of the Marcoses. In the 2016 elections, Calida supported the vice presidential bid of former Senator Bongbong Marcos.
I am now a government official. Yung elections before has no more bearing on my duty as a government official. So it doesn't matter to me.
Since its establishment in 1986, PCGG has recovered 170 billion pesos from the ill-gotten wealth of the Marcoses. Roderick Mendoza, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
Former Makati Vice Mayor Ernesto Mercado vows to push through with testifying for a graft case involving former Makati Mayor Elenita Binay. Monokson will tell us why.
For the first time, former Makati Vice Mayor Ernesto Mercado faced the witness stand to testify for a graft case involving former Makati Mayor Elenita Binay. The case stemmed from Makati City Hall's allegedly anomalous purchase of equipment worth 72.6 million pesos. Mercado says his testimony against Mrs. Binay has nothing to do with the ongoing rift between their families. He says he just wants to tell what he knows about the issue.
Tuloy-tuloy lang. Hindi naman yun against the Binay eh. Ang akin testimony naman eh, kung ano lang yun nangyari doon sa COA report. So, pangit sabihin against the Binay. No, kasi hindi naman kami magkalaban o hindi naman kami naglalaban dito.
In his testimony, Mercado stated that the then Mayor Jejomar Binay ordered him to coordinate with the auditing team of the Commission on Audit or COA. After the release of the COA report, Mr. Binay ordered him anew to talk to former City Administrator Nicanor Santiago. The witness noted during that time, the elder Binay realized the release of the COA report will result into filing of charges. It was in 2014 when the former Vice Mayor saw the report again during his meeting with then Makati City Administrator Nicanor Santiago. Mercado says Santiago told him to give the document to then COA Commissioner Mendoza. But Mercado says the audit report was only handed to Mendoza on August 2014 during the first Senate hearing on the case of the Makati City Hall parking building. He noted that when he gave the document to Mendoza, the commissioner hugged it and told him, quote, "Thank you, Mr. Mercado. You are my savior," end of quote. The defense will question Mercado's statement on May 17. Mon Hokson, UNTV News and Rescue, Sandigan Bayan.
The Agriculture Department believes the PRISM project will be beneficial to farmers, especially in times of calamity. Aiko Miguel will tell us why.
The Philippine Rice Information System Project, or PRISM, can bring great help to the Department of Agriculture's planning. PRISM aims to gather information on rice fields and determine deficiencies to aid stakeholders. International Rice Research Institute, or IRRI, Deputy Director Bruce Tolentino says PRISM uses satellite technology to determine the types and amount of crops in the country. Deputy Director Tolentino says PRISM had been tried before when Typhoon Yolanda hit the country in 2015.
Malaki yung damage for Typhoon Lando. And within 1 week of the typhoon, we were able to present estimates of the damage to the Department of Agriculture.
Agriculture Undersecretary Ariel Kayanan asserts PRISM will serve as a guide for farmers. Farmers can choose which seedlings must be cultivated in their farms through information coming from PRISM.
Meron po siyang computation like magkano ang kikitahin. So may magiging basya ng farmers na dito ba ako tataya o baka naman may iba akong dapat tayaan.
PRISM will be funded with 25 million pesos to 30 million pesos in 2018. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
UNTV gets recognition from the Bureau of Fire Protection in the Cordillera region. Jun Soriao will tell us why.
The Bureau of Fire Protection, or BFP Cordillera, conducts today a culminating activity for the Fire Prevention Month 2017. During the said event, the BFP has recognized the stakeholders, private and media organizations, and individuals who continuously support the agency's advocacy.
Nagpapasalamat kami kay Kuya Daniel Rozon for always there yung ating UNTV in all the activities of the BFP CAR. At we're expecting that you'll be helping us again in the future para naman we can work out not to have a fire-safe nation.
Based on BFP Cordillera's data, 389 fire incidents occurred in 2015. This is lower than the 406 fire incidents in 2016. From January 2016 to February 2017, the agency recorded total damages amounting to 106.8 million pesos. 8 were dead, while 26 were injured. Just this month, the number of fire incidents in the region has reached 21.
Considering po that our statistic shows that all the fires or most of the fires that occurred is nanggagaling po sa tahanan. So doon po natin simulan ang pag-iingat sa sunog.
For its part, UNTV has expressed gratitude to the BFP Cordillera. UNTV also vows to continue supporting government programs and projects.
Gaya nga ng sinasabi ni Kuya Daniel Rason at Brother Eli Soriano, ginagawa to ng UNTV hindi dahil sa anumang recognitions, kundi ginagawa natin ito dahil sa ganitong paraan, naluluwalhati natin ang Panginoon.
Jun Suriao, UNTV News and Rescue, Philippines.
Senior citizens in an elder care facility in Melbourne expressed their gratitude to our Kasangbahays in Australia. Nicole Reyes will tell us why.
Kasangbahays and Members Church of God International or MCGI in Australia have once again visited the elders at the Bernadette's Residential Aged Care Facility in Melbourne. The said facility is home to 95 elders, many of them with no relatives to take care of them, while some of the elders temporarily stay there as their relatives can no longer support them. The elders have expressed gladness for the volunteers' visit and after our Kasangbahays entertained them.
We have just had a beautiful choir. Their names are MCGI, and we are in the community center of St. Bernadette's. We had a glorious time, and those singers and dancers were wonderful. I think they should come back and enjoy, and we will enjoy them more.
The MCGI's volunteers, meanwhile, are thankful to have the opportunity to ease the sadness of the elders.
Para sa akin po, na nakakagaan po sa pakiramdam na kahit papano po, nakakapagpasya po kami ng matatanda na minsan na lang po binibisita ng kanilang mamahal sa buhay. Kaya ako po, sarap po sa pakiramdam.
Bilang representative po dito ng kabataan dito sa Australia, kami po ay full support sa advocacy ni Kuya Daniel sa pagtulong po sa kapwa, lalo na po sa mga matatanda.
Even though only through small ways, MCGI's volunteers strive to entertain and grant the small wishes of the elders. Nicole Reyes for Serbisyong Kasangbahay.
Those are the reasons behind the news, March 29, 2017. I'm Angelo Castro III.
Reasons we delivered to you as they unfold. I'm Darlene Basingan.
Because we need to know. We will always ask why. Thank you for watching. Why News.